Welcome to today's lesson, and in case you are new in this channel, kindly subscribe in order to receive all the updates when we upload them. Today we are going to look at a question on trigonometry under trigonometric graphs, and the question reads: complete the table below. We have the values of x from 0 to 360. Then we have y is equal to sine x plus 30. We also have another function of y is equal to 2 cos x plus 30. You are supposed to use these functions to complete the table. We have the first function, y is equal to sine x plus 30, and already the first value has been done. So what we do is that we are supposed to take the value of x, which is 0, then we add to 30. We get 0 plus 30 is 30, so sine 30 will give us 0.5. That is, you press sine 30 and that gives us 0.5, and that is the figure we have here. Coming to the second value of x, which is 30, this is x, which is 30 plus 30, that gives us 60. So we are going to press sine 60. The sine of 60 is going to give us 0.866, which is the same as 0.87, which is the same as 0.87. Then we have next we have 60. So we take x is our x is 60. 60 plus 30 is 90. So sine 90 will give us, sine of 90 will give us 1. So we are going to fill here 1.00 or simply 1. Then we come to where x is 90. So we take x is 90 plus 30, that gives us 120. So we press sine 120, and the sine of 120 will give us 0.866, which is the same as 0.87 to 2 decimal places. We go to 120. So if x is 120, 120 plus that will give us 150. So we press sine of 150, and the sine of 150 will give us 0.5. We can use 2 decimal places, so it is 0.50. Then x is 150. So we take x is 150 plus that will give us 180. So we press sine 180, and the sine 180 will give us 0. Then next we have 180 as our x. So 180 plus that will give us 210. So we are going to press sine 210, and that gives us negative 0.5, which is already here. So we move forward to 210, and if x is 210, so we take 210, you add 30 to give us 240. So we press sine 240, and the sine 240 will give us negative 0.866, which is the same as negative 0.87, correct to 2 decimal places. Then we go to 240. So if x is 240, we add 30, that gives us 270. So we press sine 270, and that gives us negative 1.00. Then we go to 270. So if x is 270, you add 30, that gives us 300. You press sine 300, and the sine of 300 will give us negative 0.0 0.87. Then we go to 300, so we take 300 plus 30, which is 330. Sine 330 will give us negative 0.5, negative 0.50. Then we go to 330, so it will be 330 plus 30, which is 360. And sine 360 will give us 0. And of course 360 we have its value. But if you want to confirm this value here, 0.5, that is 360 plus 30, which gives us 390. And the sine of 390 will give us 0.5, and that is what we have there. So we have already worked on the function y is equal to sine x plus 30. Now we go to the second function. And the second function is where we have 2 cos x plus 30, and for the first one x is 0, so 0 plus 30 we get 30, so it is 2 cos 30, so it is 2 the cos of 30, and that gives us 1.73 correct to 2 decimal places, and that is what we have there. So moving to the second column where x is 30, so we take 30 plus 30, which is 60, so we press 2 cos 60, 2 cos 60, which gives us 1, so we can simply say it's 1.00 correct to 2 decimal places. Then our x is 60, so it is 60 plus 30, which is 90, so we press 2 cos 90, twice cos 90, which gives us a 0. And then we go to 90, so if x is 90 plus 30, you get 120, so you press 2 cos 120 or cos 120, whatever you get, you multiply by 2. So we are going to have twice cos 120, and that gives us negative 1.00. Next, our x is 120, it has already been done, so we go to the next value, which is 150. So if x is 150, you take 150 plus that, which is 180, so we press 2 cos 180, 2 cos 180, which gives us negative 2, so we fill it as negative 2.00. Then our next value of x is 180, so 180 plus 30, you get 210, so we press cos 210, so that is twice cos 210, and that gives us negative 1.73, which is the answer to this particular column. Then our next value of x is 210, so 210 you add 30, that gives us 240, so we press twice cos 240, which gives us negative 1, so we can write it as negative 1.00 correct to 2 decimal places for consistency. Then the next value is 240, so we take 240 plus 30, which is 270, so we press twice, or 2 cos 270, which gives us 0, so 0 can be 0 or 0.00. Then the next value of x is 270, so 270 plus 30 will give us 300, so this is 2 cos 300, which gives us 1, so we write it as 1.00. Then next we have 300, so we take 300 plus 30, which gives us 330, and therefore if we press cos 2 cos 330, we are going to get 1.73 correct to 2 decimal places, and by so doing you would have completed the table for you to earn your 2 marks. Moving down, we have part B of the question, and part B of the question says, on the same axis On the same axis, draw the graphs of y is equal to sine x plus 30 and y is equal to 2y cos x plus 30 for you to earn your 5 marks. If you look at the Cartesian plane, from the table we have x and y, and the highest value of y here is 2 for both. The highest value of y is 2, and x begins from 0 to 360. So since we do not have negative values of x, we are going to push this here. Just come here. Then we have so that is what we have. That is our Cartesian plane, and the common point is 0. Since the highest value of y is 2, we can go with a scale of 0.5 units, where if this is 0, this one is going to be equal to 0.5, then this one becomes 1.0, then this one 1.5, then lastly here we have 2.0, and this is the y-axis. From there, again, we have negative values of y. So if this is 0, this one is going to be negative 0.5. Then this one becomes negative 1.0. This one becomes negative 1.5. And this one here becomes negative 2.0. From here now we can start with the x values, where x begins from 0. Using an interval of 30, 30, 30, we are going to have 0, then 30. Next we are going to have 60. Next is 90. From 90 we go to 120. 120 we go to 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, we have 330, and lastly we have 360, and this is our x-axis. So having done that, now we can plot. We are going to plot x against y is equal to sine x plus 30 first. And in this case, when the value of x is 0 here, the value of y is 0.5, and this is the point where we are going to do our plotting. Then when x is 30 at this point, the value of y is 0.87, and if this is 0.5, since we have 10 equal squares within one box, so and the interval is actually 0.5, it means one small box is going to be, two small boxes are going to carry 0.2 units. And if this is 0.5, then we count 2, which is 0.6. Another 2 will give us 0.7. Then another one will give us 0.8. 0.87 will be somewhere here. From there, we move to where x is 60. And when x is 60, the value of y is 1 there. When x is 120, no, when x is 90, the value of x is 0.87. So 0.87 is here together with the other one. And when x is 120, the value of y is 0.5. And then when x is 150, the value of y is 0. When x is 180 at this point, the value of x is negative 0.5, and negative 0.5 is here. And when x is 210, 210 is negative 8.7, 210 is negative 0.87, which is here. And when x is 240, the value of y is negative 1.0. And when it is 270, when the value of x is 270, then our y is negative 0.87, and negative 0.87 is here. And when the value of x is negative 300, the value of y is going to be equal to negative 0.5. And when it is 330, the value of y is 0, because along the x-axis the values of y are 0. And then when it is 360, it is positive 0.5, and this is where we are going to have our curve anyway. So having done that, now we can join these points. We can join all the plotted points using, you have to draw a smooth line joining all the plotted points, and in this case this curve is y is equal to sine x plus 30, and by so doing you have drawn that particular curve and given it a name like that. Next we take x again with y is twice cos x plus 30. We move on. When x is 0, then the value of y is 1.73. When x is 0, this one is going to be 1.73. So this is 1.5, 1.6, 1.73 is around this point here. And when x is 30, this one is 1. X is 30, this one is 1. And when x is 60, the value of y is 0. The value of y is 0 at this point. So let me differentiate this by using another pen. And when the value of x is 90, 90 is negative 1. So 90 is negative 1, and negative 1 is here. And when the value of x is 120, you get 1.73. 120 is 1.5, 1.6, 1.73. And when the value of x is 150, 150, this one, the value of y is negative 2. And when x is 180, this one is 180 is 1.87. And when it is 210, it is negative 1. 210 is negative 1. And when the value of x is 240, 240, the value of y is 0. And when x is 270, the value of x is positive 1. 270, it is positive 1 here. And when the value of x is 300, x is 300, y is 1.73, and 1.73 is somewhere there. And when the value of x is 330, the value of y is 2. And when it is 360, it is 1.73. 360, the value of y is 0.73, and by so doing, now we have plotted all these points. We can now use the plotted points to draw that particular curve like that. You have to draw a smooth line joining all the plotted points. Draw a smooth curve showing all the plotted points, and after doing that, now you can come and give it a name, and the name of this curve is y is equal to twice cos x plus 30 degrees, and by so doing, you'd have done that particular part B of the equation, which has 5 marks. And make sure that you don't forget to label your curves, because if you forget to do that, you are going to be penalized. Then now we move down where we are supposed to use your graphs to solve the equation 2 cos x plus 30 minus sin x plus 30 is equal to 0. This question is very simple. Simply take this one curve to the other side such that we have 2 cos x plus 30 degrees is equal to, because this one is negative, if it crosses the other side it becomes positive sin x plus 30. And what it means is that these two curves are equal at some point, and the two curves are equal at the point where they intersect, and that one is going to give us the solution for that particular function here. In this case, these two curves are equal at the point where they intersect, and therefore you are going to take the value of, you are going to go to where the two curves intersect, then you come along this towards where we have x axis, then you read off the value of x at this particular point, and if from 0 to 30 we have 30 units representing 10 squares, so if you take that divided by 10, each one square is equivalent to 3 units, and if you take 30, that one will be around 36 degrees, and the other value of x is going to be equal to where the two curves intersect, and the two curves intersect at this point, so you draw a broken line towards the x-axis so that you can read off that value, and the value there is going to be equal to 210, which is the answer to this particular question. Another thing that we are supposed to do, it is to state the amplitude, and make sure anytime you are showing the answers in the graph, you must show using a broken line how you got those particular points. Next, you are supposed to state the amplitude of each wave, and if you look at the two curves, the highest displacement of these two curves, that is the first curve, the highest displacement of the curve, either below or above, is going to be 1, or you go to these two functions here, you look at the highest value of y, and in this case the highest value is going to be 1. So for y is equal to sin x plus 30 degrees, the amplitude is going to be 1.0 unit, and then for y is equal to 2 cos x plus 30, the amplitude is going to be 2 units. Where did we get the 2 units? You look at the maximum displacement of this wave here, from here to here, then you read off the value of y, which is 2, or you can also read it above from here to this point here, then you look at the y-axis, it is going to give you the amplitude. And for the other wave, which is y is equals to sin x, the highest displacement of that particular wave is 1, and that is what gives us the amplitude of each. Thank you for watching, and welcome to the channel.